Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why you're still standing? Why, after all the heartbreaks, disappointments, and silent seasons, you're still here? Have you ever paused to ask yourself, how did I survive the things that should have broken me? Because the truth is, you shouldn't have made it this far. The depression, the heartbreak, the betrayal, the failures no one saw but you, the silent nights where your tears became prayers, and your prayers felt like they disappeared into nothing. And yet, you're here, still breathing, still trying, still hoping, even if it's with trembling hands and tear-stained faith. Why? Because even when you couldn't see it, there was someone watching. Even when you didn't feel it, there was someone holding you. You didn't survive by accident. You weren't kept alive by coincidence. You are here because there is a God who has never taken his eyes off you. You see, not every miracle is loud. Not every victory comes wrapped in lightning and thunder. Not every breakthrough arrives with trumpets blasting or angelic choirs announcing the way. Sometimes, God works in whispers, in shadows, in the small, unseen corners of our lives where no one else is watching. In the prayers you whisper through tears that no one else hears. In the moments when your strength is gone, and all you have left is a single fragile hope clinging to the hem of his garment. We often expect God to show up with fire from heaven, but more often he shows up like dew on the grass. Until suddenly you realize he's been there all along, soft, gentle, almost unnoticed. He moves in the waiting, in the wondering, in the wilderness seasons where you question if he's still writing your story. And the Bible is overflowing with these quiet, sacred stories. Stories where God didn't shout from the heavens, but still shaped the course of eternity. Think of Joseph, a boy with dreams bigger than his circumstances, betrayed by his own brothers, those who should have protected him, sold like property, forgotten in a prison, thrown into a pit. Years passed in silence, years filled with confusion, heartbreak, and unanswered questions. Did God part the seas for him? Did angels appear to defend him? Did thunder roll to remind him he was not alone? No. But listen to Joseph's words when at last the fog of suffering lifted and he could finally see the divine thread that had been weaving through it all. God was shaping a man who would carry the destiny of nations on his shoulders. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to save many lives. Behind the betrayals, God was working. Behind the prison doors, God was preparing. Behind the deafening silence. And what about Ruth? A widowed woman standing at the graveside of her future. No husband, no children, no protection, no security, no reason to hope for a happy ending. She wasn't royalty. She wasn't rich. She wasn't powerful. All she had was a heart still willing to say, "Where you go, I will go. Your people will be my people. Your God, my God." She could have returned to what was easy, to what was comfortable. But she chose faithfulness in the midst of uncertainty. She chose obedience in the absence of answers. And from Ruth, from a woman the world would have overlooked, a lineage was born. A lineage that would lead to King David, and from David to Jesus Christ himself. You see, the invisible witness, the God who works in shadows, in silence, in whispers, was writing redemption long before we ever glimpsed the ending, before the chapters unfolded, before the miracles were recognized, before the testimony was clear. He was already orchestrating beauty from ashes, already turning sorrow into legacy, already setting the stage for glory in ways we couldn't yet understand. Because that's the heart of our God. He doesn't just see the beginning and the end. He authors them both. He is present in the middle, present in the struggle, present in the silence, present when you feel invisible. So if you feel unseen today, if you wonder where God is in the mess, in the heartbreak, in the waiting room of life, remember this. The greatest works of heaven are often born in the places we thought God had forgotten. The prayers you pray in secret, He hears them. The tears you cry in the dark, He catches them. The hope you barely dare to hold on to, He honors it. Because even when His voice is quiet, even when the heavens feel still, God is never absent. He is never idle. He is never late. He is always working, always writing, always redeeming. And one day, just like Joseph, just like Ruth, you'll look back and see what you couldn't see then. The invisible witness was there the whole time, but to redemption. And He was leading you not to ruin. But listen closely, beloved. This isn't just Esther's story. It's not just Ruth's story, or Joseph's, or Moses, or anyone else who came before you, whose names now shine from the pages of Scripture. This is your story too, because whether you can see it right now or not, whether you can feel it today or not, whether you even believe it yet or not, heaven has never missed a moment of your life. Not one tear has fallen unnoticed. Not one breath has been wasted. Not one heartbreak. Not one betrayal. Not one silent night of questioning has escaped the loving attention of your Heavenly Father. That heartbreak you thought would break you beyond repair? He was there, holding you, even when you couldn't feel His hands. That closed door that shattered your dreams? Waiting for the right moment to bring beauty from ashes. He was there, protecting you from what you could not yet see. That long, aching silence that made you wonder if God had forgotten your name? He was there, listening, loving. You see, God isn't just the God of the miraculous endings. He is the God of the silent middles, the God of the aching waits, the God of the unseen chapters where nothing makes sense, and yet everything is being written for His glory. Behind the scenes of your ordinary days, behind the struggle of your weary heart, behind the confusion, the rejection, the disappointments, God has been writing a greater story. A story where nothing, absolutely nothing, is wasted. He doesn't waste your tears. He doesn't waste your doubts. He doesn't waste the sleepless nights, the prayers that felt like they hit the ceiling, the moments when you almost gave up. Even in your darkest valley, even when you felt like you failed Him, like you were too broken, too late, too lost, He was working still, because this is the heart of the gospel. Our God is a redeemer. He doesn't just rescue, He repurposes. He doesn't just restore, He transforms. He doesn't just save, He rewrites stories with a grace so deep, so fierce, so unstoppable, that even our pain becomes part of His masterpiece. Your pain has purpose. Your story matters to heaven. Your name, yes, your name, is written not just in some forgotten record, but engraved in the very heart of the one who hung on a cross for you, the one who stretched out His arms, not because you had it all together, but because He loved you in the mess, in the brokenness, in the silence, in the uncertainty. In the parts of your story you wish no one could see. Jesus sees. Jesus knows. Jesus cares. And He is not finished with you. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not invisible to the eyes of heaven. Just like Esther. Just like Ruth. Just like Joseph. Your story is part of something so much bigger than you can imagine. Because the same God who moved in their silence is moving in yours. The same God who redeemed their pain is redeeming yours. The same God who wrote their victory is still writing yours. So lift your head. Let hope breathe again. Let faith rise again. Because you, beloved, were born for such a time as this. And God is not finished telling your story. Maybe today you don't feel brave. Maybe you feel more broken than bold, more forgotten than favored, more lost than called. Maybe you've been looking at your life, at the disappointments, the struggles, the heartbreak, the waiting, and wondering, how could God possibly use someone like me? But hear me now, and hear this not just from my words, but through the whisper of the Spirit of God's unshakable love for you. You don't need a crown to be chosen. You don't need a title to be called. You don't need to feel fearless to be faithful. God has never been interested in perfection. He's never been moved by worldly power or outward appearance. He has always chosen the quiet, the hidden, the overlooked, the shepherd boy in the field, the orphan girl in exile, the broken woman at the well, the fisherman with trembling hands. Why? Because it's never been about how strong you are. It's always been about how strong He is in you. You only need to say one word. Yes. Yes to His love that still pursues you. Yes to His calling that still waits for you. Yes to the purpose for which you were born, even if you can't see it yet. Because this world, this broken, weary, wandering world, it is crying out for courage. For men and women who will stand when it's hard, who will speak truth when it's costly, who will love when it's inconvenient, who will forgive when it hurts, who will hope when it feels impossible. And you, yes, you have been placed here now, in this moment in history, not by accident, but by the sovereign hand of the invisible witness who has never stopped writing your story, the same Spirit who hovered over creation, the same Spirit who breathed life into dust, the same Spirit who split the seas, toppled giants, and raised Christ from the grave. That Spirit lives in you. So even if your hands shake, even if your knees tremble, even if your heart whispers through tears, stand, speak, believe, because you were born for such a time as this, not by random chance, not by luck or coincidence, by divine design, by the hand of the God who moves in silence, by the heart of the Father who redeems all things, by the grace of the Son who gave everything for you. He never stopped seeing you. He never stopped calling you. He never stopped believing that your life could reflect His glory to a world desperate for hope. So take heart. Lift your eyes. Let your faith rise again. You don't have to feel ready. You only have to be willing. Because the God who chose Esther has chosen you too. The invisible witness. He's not far away. He's not silent. He's not distant or distracted or disinterested. No. He is closer than your next breath. Closer than the heartbeat you forget to notice. Closer than the tear you hide behind your smile. He's been there. In the shadows you thought would swallow you. In the heartbreak you thought would break you beyond repair. In the waiting rooms where hope felt thin. In the long silent nights where your prayers felt like whispers lost in the dark. In the questions you were too afraid to ask out loud. In the places you thought no one could find you, He was there, writing your story. Not carelessly, not hurriedly, not with indifference, but with hands of grace, with the patience of eternity, with a love deeper than oceans and higher than skies. And hear this now, beloved. He's not done yet. Your story is still unfolding. Your purpose is still alive. Your future is still wrapped in His promises. So let your heart rise again. Let your silence break into worship. Let your faith awaken from the ashes of disappointment. Because even when God feels hidden, He is never gone. Even when the answer seems delayed, He is never late. And even when you feel small, unseen, and unqualified, He has never stopped choosing the unlikely to change the world. Look at Esther, a forgotten orphan girl, chosen to save a nation. Look at Ruth, a widowed outsider, grafted into the lineage of Jesus. Look at Joseph, a betrayed brother, lifted from prison to palace. Look at David, a shepherd boy, anointed to be king. And now, look at you. Lift your eyes, beloved. Lift your heart. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are chosen. You are loved. You are seen. And you were born for such a time as this. Not by accident, not by coincidence, by the divine design of a God who never makes mistakes. The love of the Father surrounds you. The sacrifice of Jesus redeems you. The Spirit of God strengthens you. So stand, speak, believe, because your story matters, because His love never fails, because the invisible witness is still moving, still writing, still redeeming through you. If this message touched your heart, if it reminded you that you are not alone, if it helped your soul remember the beauty of God's love, leave a comment below. Share how God is moving in your story. Like this video so others can hear this truth too. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because there's more to come, more hope, more faith, more stories of the God who never stops writing beauty from ashes. They are not forgotten. Share this with someone who needs to remember. Thank you for watching. Thank you for believing. Thank you for standing with us in the love of Christ. You were born for this, and you are so loved. See you around.